Let's fix this. Add a window. An error occurred. But am I still streaming? I think I am. Your channel. Yes. One watching. Alright. Let's see if this is working. Oh no. I don't know. It says one is watching. I don't know who that one is. Maybe it's myself. Let's see. Is anyone there? I somehow managed to get rid of the live chat on OBS. Great. That's all right. Is anyone there? Please message me in the chat if anyone is there. 2 watching. Alright, someone's watching. So I assume this is working. Please let me know in the chat if this is working. Alright. This is a test stream mostly. Alright, they dipped. Cool. Maybe I should just do the live streams. Oh, cool. Someone's there. Cool. Hello. Alright. So let's get into it. Maybe wait a few more minutes just for a few more people. Just posted the link. Maybe. Alright. So this is all I'm really looking for on Bitcoin. We came down, held the yearly VWAP, pumped back up, right into the golden pocket, came back down. We're holding this VWAP for now, but you can see this huge liquidity gap in this candle right here. This see on the volume profile how this is so low. So usually what Bitcoin will do is come back and recover that liquidity. You can see this time and time again, especially on higher time frames. Cool. Thanks. I did raise the volume on my end. You see that this happens time and time again on Bitcoin. When we have low liquidity, actually, where is it? Where's the prime example? I don't know why this is so small. It used to be a lot bigger. This is a setting width of the box? No, it's the value area. I don't know. Maybe they changed it. But either way, you see how there's a lack of liquidity up until here, right? You can see that we come up and recover this low liquidity area. We come recover this low liquidity area, dump through. We come up and recover this low. We come down and recover this low liquidity area. We have low liquidity right here. We spend some time, then we create liquidity in that area. So what I'm looking for is to recover these liquidity gaps. So my first target down would be, let's just lower the time frames. You can see it's simpler. Would be right in this area. I want to see them come fill right here. Right, I want them to grab all this liquidity. Well, first not grab all liquidity, but stop out all the traders that went long, create liquidity in this low liquidity zone, retest this high. If we hold this high, we can pump through. For now, I'm looking for this coming down. That's a solid 3% move. So with leverage, that's plenty. This is just in the lower time frames. We check how the Dow is doing. Yeah, we can see on the hourly time frame we're starting to turn down as well. We had a decent open, probably based off the Russian news. But we do have a gap down, so I expect us to come down and fill this gap. At least today, tomorrow. Look at the higher time frames. I can turn off the VWAP, turn on the EMAs, and get rid of the volume profile. Actually, let's turn on the did not save it. There you go. Nice. There you go. Right, turn on the high time frame market volume profiles. So you see how we came into the daily golden pocket right over here. Actually, let's just turn on. Came into the daily golden pocket, rejected, came back to the 50 EMA, consistently closed below it. We came back above, recovered the liquidity in this candle, and also came into this golden pocket. So I'm expecting a hefty move down. And once again, based off the liquidity gaps, we had pretty low liquidity within this huge pump. just to be expected. Right here, you can see how low liquidity that is compared to the others. So I'm expecting us to come down and fill this right here. And this, I would consider it to be a daily imbalance. We had an imbalance of buyers in this zone. Now, if we went to Addis, which I can't right now do while I'm streaming. Sorry, just letting people. I think my link Discord is a little weird. But there will be a imbalance of buyers within this zone. And to double check that, we go into order flow and see exactly that. But as of right now, I do not have the capability of doing both. But trading views stuff has worked fine for me in the past. I'm just trying to up my game a little bit, especially now that I am streaming and other people. But yeah, we can see this time and time again how these low liquidity zones are then recovered. Right, we have this low liquidity zone right here to the downside. We came back up and filled it to the upside. You had this low liquidity zone right here. We came back up and these wicks actually filled them, right? Right here, we also have a low liquidity zone, so there's a possibility that we come back and fill this low liquidity zone up to the upside. If this actually went back a bit more, I don't think it can. Yeah, this is where. Yeah, this is where this kind of falls down a little bit. But back in December, we actually had a similar liquidity gap from this, like this and this. In this candle right here, the capitulation to 41K, and it actually ended right at this wick. So that's like right at these wicks. So that was a good confirmation for me, amongst others. I think it was also probably right near the golden pocket. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, right near the golden pocket, liquidity. There's a liquidity gap similar to these. They look exactly like these. And also near the 50 EMA. And you could go short, and you can obviously see how well that played out to the downside. So I'm looking just for Bitcoin to come down and recover this liquidity zone. First and foremost. We check it on the weekly. Let's just change charts for the weekly. Let's go to the Bitstamp chart. Turn off our volume profiles. We're going to even turn off our EMAs, but okay. You can see on the monthly, on the weekly, sorry, we can bullish market structure right here. So what did we do? We pumped up, came down, formed a low, formed another low right here, and then that pumped us up. Okay. But because we broke this low on the weekly and also on the daily, but I was looking specifically on the weekly just to get an extra confirmation. We broke it and closed below it. I would consider this, we've broken the bullish market structure pretty heavily. And the way I do order blocks would be this. So the candle before the market structure break would be the bearish order block, or if it was reversed, it would be the bullish order block. So we wanna. So this would actually be the bullish order block. We can see it didn't hold. Oh, sorry, bullish. I'm looking for continuation down. So we also tested the weekly 50 EMA. Still have yet to close above it. Weekly 50 EMA is a little. It's not that strong of an indicator. It's a very strong EMA, but it's not that strong of an indicator whether we close above it or below it. See like iterations right here, where we close below it, then we just pumped on our way up. So also iteration. You see we lose it and then we drop below, but I'm not too keen on trading it necessarily. It's more of just another extra confluence. If we can get back above it, obviously that'd be more bullish. If we were below it, that's obviously more bearish. But on such a high time frame, unless you're only doing spot or extremely low leverage, the EMAs are, in my opinion, not really that strong of a confluence to take a trade. So yeah, this isn't looking very good for Bitcoin. We take a look on the daily one more time. Turn these off. Trades reality indicator. So we actually bounced right off the 800 EMA. Such a good sign right there. If I could pull up at us while it was also, I find it. Someone's asking me how do I find the live. I posted the link. Sorry. We bounced off the 50 MA. If I could pull up Addis while I was doing this, which I will eventually be able to. See a lot of people close their shorts at this area. Some longs opened, but not plenty. It was mostly a big drop in OI, signifying one, stopped out longs, and two, closed the shorts. Historically speaking, we can just look at previous cycles to see that at the moment we lose the 800 EMA. So we capitulate the moment we break the 800 EMA. Now, once again, we do have iterations where we close below it, but then continue to pump back up. So it's not a straight, we close below it, oh, we're going to about to capitulate. But every time we capitulate very hard, it is after we break the 800 EMA and continue to hold it as resistance. So we capitulate in 2014, roughly a month after 37 days, we had the bottom. 2017, similar story. Right here, broke the 800 EMA, capitulate roughly a month after. There's your cycle bottom. So we actually held it this time, which is a pretty bullish case in the short term. And assuming so right now the 800 EMA is at roughly 33,700. So I need capitulation below that. That's where I'm looking for really the bottom to come in on this cycle. Whether or not comes, capitulate 12K, 13K, 20K, 25K. It's pretty relevant to me. I'm just looking for this right here to then be the bottom. So the moment we capitulate under this is where I would then start to look to, one, put on the heavy buys, close my long-term shorts, and then potentially once I see like good reversal signs on shorter time frames, look for long-term longs. We can go drop back to the hourly. Go back on VWAP. We did hold the daily VWAP. We can actually drop down to the 1 minute. I don't want to. Let's get back to the Bybit chart for more better liquidity. So we're holding this area of support right now. But like I said, the Dow, we have this big gap to the downside to fill. This pump was 1, to recover yesterday's dump, and 2, most likely based off the Russia news. If you guys have any coins that you want me to look at, you can put them in the chat. I don't want to harp on Bitcoin too long. Just start repeating myself. Or Discord me, if that's easier. I know someone was in Matic, I believe. We'll take a look at Matic. This one. I think Binance was the longest chart. Okay, yeah. Let's get rid of VWAP and EMAs. Well, and let's go to the weekly. The long-term case. Maybe this wasn't. I want to find the chart with the most history with this. I assumed it would be Binance. So weekly on this. This is looking very strong. We're just accumulating up to the on the top. We're consolidating at the top, I should say, accumulating. It's a pretty bullish case, bullish scenario. I don't have much to comment on the weekly. We're making higher lows. We made a higher high. Now I'm just this is most likely forming another higher low, which would then hopefully lead to another higher high. So this is looking pretty bullish on the weekly. So we can probably just pull the fibs on the daily, but yeah, we actually held these fibs. We never closed below them, just wicked into them. Go look in the daily. Yeah. No, this is looking pretty bullish. Alright, diagrams. You see we're also forming a W formation right here. This gets confirmed once we close above this wick high. So if we fail to get above this wick high and only hold it as resistance, Matic please. Oh, I already front ran you on that one. I knew you were gonna ask that. If we fail to get above this high on the daily, right, then this W formation then gets obviously invalidated, and we will then look for a continuation to the downside. With targets, let's see where my targets to the downside would be. So yes, so I just want to make clear that this would be my first target to the upside. Let's actually talk upside targets first. First target would be that high. Second target would be actually perfect, the golden pocket and this, the other, the previous high. the previous high line up, so this would be my second target. Then after that, I would just look for a continuation to the all-time high and higher. So these are your two levels of resistance for me, and then you would continue to the upside and break. In terms of downside targets, we do have a big, I shouldn't say big, but fairly strong imbalance or void. Some people like different voids right here. Voids occur, it's probably simpler to show in smaller timers, but you can see how, let's just, that's the real void. You can see how, I'll just show you how to do imbalances on candlesticks. You can see how this candle right here is only covered from here with this wick and right here to this wick. So there's still this portion here where there was a buy imbalance. Now, if you had an order flow, if you have order flow software like Addis or EXO, you can see the actual imbalances, all the orders, and be more accurate with it. There definitely is a buy imbalance over here. I can't stream right now with both for some reason, but these do give good targets. For the downside, this is going to get recovered at some point. So all the way down to 50. So this move as well from this high, from this low to this high, came down, held this. This is actually pretty fairly bullish case. But if we were, where would I look for? I'm looking one at this void, and then right here as well. These fib patterns as well in the daily. The 112 to $1 region. We also have a daily support and resistance, fairly strong. I think that's like $1.03, $1.04. So I'm looking for this to be the first target to the downside. If we break that, then I'm looking just for it to essentially just capitulate to this void right here, which is at 62 cents. We can turn on the volume profiles. I don't know why I can't get more data with this. I want. Maybe this is how. Okay, so it's without these numbers apparently. Want the past year's data. Please load. Okay, we're not. That's not how I get more. Yeah, I do really have to get this order flow to work so I can show you guys more data. But just based off this, yes, this is my first second to the downside, and then after that, I will capitulate to this low and this void right here. In smaller time frames, let's actually just look at the imbalances. And see how they hold up. So right here is a fairly pretty good example, live example of an imbalance right here. Let's just zoom in. Because from this wick to this wick right here, that would be your imbalance or your void. People call it different things. So you have imbalanced buyers in this zone, so we want to come back and recover this liquidity with some sell volume. Oh, we actually have a huge one right here as well. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. The box from this tip. Well, actually, this wick to this wick right here, that would be your void. So you have actually huge buying balance right here. So what I like to personally do, if when I'm leverage trading, is I find where the imbalances are. Usually nowadays I use the order flow book, but these also work just as fine. The order flow, and I look to see where they line up with the fib patterns as well as some support and resistances at previous highs and stuff like that. So we follow fib patterns and we see that this void lines up with these fibs as well. It also comes back and tests this previous high right over here. So this would be, for me, I would look for a bounce right here. And when I'm looking at the order flow data in real time, what I'm looking for when we come down to this area, or shorts closing, buy and balances coming, trapped shorts, so selling at the lows, well, big buys coming in, as well as an OI increase. So that's what I want. I want to see shorts close, big longs opening, shorts being trapped, like small shorts being trapped. You can look at the actual data by itself and buy imbalances at this area. That's what I like to see. If we get a reaction at this area, then I'll take the long and see profit on the way. I'm trying to see where. Okay, I'm just trying to see a previous example to show you guys where it was actually recovered. So we have this right here, this void right here. So we actually have a void to the downside. Uh, this is a sell imbalance. So right here, there's more sellers than buyers. So we're expecting the market to come down and balance out, meaning that they're gonna have to go to induce buy pressure into that zone. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put on the void here. You can see we come up into the void, create some buy liquidity, and then dump through. This is a good way to trade as well. You actually, to the dollar right here, have this. I mean, you can actually just probably do this. You have this huge one as well. You can see we actually came right into it. So you had a sell and balance right here. Came into it, now we're dumping through it. We take our fib, so let's just go to the 1 hour just to get more of a clear highs and highs and lows. We have this pivot right here to the downside. Just get rid of these fib levels just to make it clear. And you can see what fib levels line up with this void. These ones right here. These fib levels line up with the void, which also kind of line up with these previous lows right here before you broke it. So this could have been, if we go to small time frames, we can see it clear, come up right into it, like just barely touched it into the void. You could have taken short position, and you could have been seen a realized profit of around we're already out of this zone by 3%. Oh, I see Ike in the chat. Also, we are nearing the 20th of the month. I don't like that time. Well, I do like it, but not for crypto. Except the summer, it always sucked last year. Yeah, the end of the month and the timing of the month all matters in traditional markets as well as in crypto, since they're tied. Um, I don't want to look at Usually, I'm just gonna say generally, the how do I put this? I don't know how to put it. We can just look at it. Just turn off indicators and just look at time. We just look at big pivots and when they occur in the month. Okay, so where's your big pivot? Here. No, yeah, your big pivot. Oh, sorry, I want a vertical line. Just mark them all off. Okay. We had a big pivot right over here. We had a big pivot right over here. We broke this low. This is where you like technically get bearish, so she broke that low. So right there, you had a big pivot here. Right, you know, well, a big pivot right here, right there. You found your local low right here. Pivot back up to the upside. I mean, you can go through these. Like there's your bottom. You can move back to the upside. There's your bottom. Okay. Okay. There's your bottom as well. Boom. So just based off of this, we can keep going, but where are major pivots, right? 22nd of January, 28th of February, 24th, 9th of May, 20th. Actually, I mean, do I even technically when you break that low? Okay. 22nd of January, 28th of February, 24th of March, 15th of May, 25th. All right. So generally, the big moves will come at the beginning of the month or the end of the month. This is like the one exception when you broke this low. But yeah, the equities market does actually have time cycles. So Bitcoin will generally follow them like the beginning first few days of the month. Generally, will have a big move either to the upside or downside. Usually, it's a false move as well. It sets up the rest of the month. And the last few days of the month will also be that way. So these are going to be all that you never really you very rarely see a big move occur in the middle of the month. I mean, I guess I should like actually place the pivots at the beginning of not the breaks. But you see that at the end of the month, at the beginning of the month. Boring time. You can drop down to the extremely lower time frames, and then I'm probably going to have to go. This is all just a test, by the way. I never streamed before. I never really did YouTube before, so this is my first stream. It's just a little test I'm doing to get used to OBS. I just connected OBS to my YouTube channel. Hopefully we can start doing this a bit more. Okay. We just seem to be balancing out. Uncovering liquidity to the downside. We trapped some shorts at the lows. But for the daily time frame, what I'm looking for the next few days, we're most likely going to see the Fed come out tomorrow. They always usually come out on Wednesdays publicly and say what their plans are. And that is when I expect New York to really have their it's usually at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time is usually when they have their announcements. So that is when I'm expecting volatility increase. It would be a convenient time to then have a reversal to the downside midweek. So that is what I really am looking for. Now, I'm not expecting a huge move to the downside. Oh, today, mostly watching for balancing, range holding. Let's see how Asia does tonight. Maybe they'll pump a little bit more. But really, all I'm looking for on the lower time frames is you can even come down to 43, just fill in this imbalance. I don't want to get too concerned. But tomorrow is what the day I'm looking for continuation to the downside, breaking this low and recovering at least the imbalance and the low liquidity zone to 39.3K. So I think I'm gonna end the stream if I even know how to do that. Thank you guys for tuning in, the three of you, apparently according to YouTube. So thank you, and I'll see you some other time, guys.